What is up, guys? Coach Josiah here from AnastasiFitness.com. Today we are going to talk about how to progressive overload for beginners inside the gym. By the end of the video, you'll know why progressive overload is one of the most important aspects when it comes to building muscle and exactly how I use it for my clients to ensure they never stop seeing progress inside the gym. Let's go. Okay, so what is progressive overload and why is it important? Progressive overload is when you gradually increase the number of reps you do, the weight you use, or the number of sets you perform during a workout. This is what drives muscle growth. Without gradually increasing these variables throughout your workout career, your body will not have the stimulus from lifting weights to build any muscle. As more muscle is built, your body needs a higher and higher amount of stimulus, and this is the main driver of what keeps you growing from workout to workout. This is exactly why we use weights at the gym, to gradually increase them as we get stronger and build more muscle. All right, here are some quick examples of how progressive overload works using additional weight or reps. It's your first week at the gym and you do 6 reps for an exercise. The following week you do 7 reps. The next week you do 8 reps, etc. This is how you use reps as your form of progressive overload. You increase reps over time while keeping that weight the same. Now let's say you do 6 reps of an exercise during your first week, and the following week you add 10 pounds to the bar and do 6 reps again. This is using additional weight as your form of progressive overload. You are keeping those reps the same, but progressively overloading in weight. These are 2 very basic examples, and there is a lot that actually goes into seeing continued progress, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into that. But first, we have to go over the last form of progressive overload, adding sets to our workouts. When it comes to using additional sets as a form of progressive overload, I don't recommend using this technique as a beginner, and this is because your main goal as a beginner is to get stronger and build a foundation of strength. When you do too many sets during your workouts, it can get in the way of this focus. You genuinely don't need to use this technique to see great progress, since your body will already be gaining strength and size very fast as a beginner. It's best to save this technique for later in your training career when it is actually needed to break through plateaus. Good rule of thumb to follow is do between 10 to 15 sets per muscle group per week and solely focus on adding reps and weight to those sets. Okay, so how exactly do we use progressive overload during our workouts? The first thing you have to determine is the rep range you're going to use for each exercise. This gives us a target and just overall baseline for us to reference as a starting point before we actually start progressing. Anything between 5 and 30 reps is going to build muscle as long as that set is taken close to muscle failure, but as a beginner, I recommend using the lower end of this range. And that is because it has the greatest potential for you to get stronger. Like we talked about earlier, our main focus as a beginner is to gain foundational strength with each exercise we do. That being said, the 6 to 10 rep range is going to be most optimal for you to use as a beginner, and we're going to use this range for the following example on exactly how to apply progressive overload during your workouts. All right, now the next question is, should we progress in reps or weight? I recommend using a combination of both, because if you solely focus on adding weight to an exercise, your form can start to go downhill, especially as a beginner. What I mean by that is, if you start adding weight to an exercise each and every week, you can run into some situations where you start compromising your form just to hit your given rep target for that week. An example of this is, let's say you do 8 reps for an exercise with 100 pounds week 1 of your program. Week 2, you do 110 pounds for 8, and on week 3, you hit 120 pounds for 8, but you totally broke down your form just to reach your rep goal. This often happens because we want to progress so damn bad, and we will just do about anything to reach that rep target, even if our form breaks down. And that is why I recommend progressing in reps first before adding weight. It allows you to get a lot more comfortable with an exercise and allows you to handle the additional weight a lot easier. Okay, how do we progressively overload with both reps and weight? You're going to start off by choosing a weight for an exercise you can 100% do 10 reps with. Our goal here is to set a baseline of strength as our starting point before we officially start progressing. Once you pick a weight you can do 10 reps with, you're going to add weight to that exercise each week. 10 pounds to the barbell or 5 additional pounds if you're using a dumbbell for the exercise. The following week, add the additional weight and try to hit 10 reps again for that exercise. You're going to repeat this process until you can't do 10 reps. What this does is it will eventually drop you down a few reps within the 6 to 10 rep range. We're going to work our way back up to 10 reps before adding weight once again. All right, now let's fast forward. You did this for 2 weeks, and on that 3rd week, you could only do 8 reps with the additional weight. Now your goal the following week is to progress in reps by shooting for 9 with that weight. You go into the gym next week and hit 9 reps, and then the following week you hit 10 reps. For the last 3 weeks, you're progressive overloading using reps, but since you hit the top of that rep range, you can now add weight and apply progressive overload this way. Here's a visual for you guys to look at for the example we just went over. As you can see, it took us 3 weeks to find our starting weight. In weeks 3 through 5, we progressed in reps, and in week 6, we added 10 additional pounds after reaching the top end of that rep range, then transitioned back into adding reps the last 2 weeks. One important thing to note here is this is only referencing the first set of an exercise. We generally do at least 3 sets for an exercise, and by that last set, we were pretty fatigued, so performance and reps can go down. With that being said, I recommend only using the first set as your reference point in terms of progressing. As long as you hit your target reps on that first set, you can consider yourself progressing and moving in the right direction. One problem you can run into using this progressive overload technique is getting knocked out of the 6 to 10 rep range. Let's say you hit 10 reps for an exercise, you add weight to the bar, and in that next set, you can only do 4 or 5 reps. In this case, you'll just add less weight. So if adding 10 pounds to the bar dropped you down to 4 reps, try only adding 5 pounds and this should fix the problem for you. In order for this progressive overload method to truly work, the biggest thing you have to be aware of is keeping your form and technique the same while you progress from workout to workout. You won't actually be applying progressive overload if your reps during an exercise change from week to week. What I mean by that is if you do 6 absolutely perfect reps for an exercise during your first workout, and the following week you do 6 reps, and on that 7th rep, your form breaks down and you start using a bunch of momentum just to reach the rep target, you didn't actually progress. You compromise your form in order to hit a certain rep target, and this just does not build muscle effectively, which is our ultimate goal here. Long story short, just be aware of how your form is on a week-to-week basis. Make sure you keep your form constant as you progress. It's okay if you don't add a rep to an exercise for a week or 2. Progress is not always linear. You will run into some plateaus throughout your workout career. If you find yourself stuck at the same weight and reps for an exercise, just look into what may be causing that. You could not be eating enough, you may not be getting enough sleep, or you could just be really stressed out. All of these factors can limit your body's ability to grow muscle, and this translates to you not progressing with your exercises. Another thing you can look for is how long you've been doing an exercise. Your body can adapt to exercises over time, and if you have been in a plateau for more than a few weeks, switching the exercise out and bringing it back in the future can help you possibly break through that plateau. All right, as always, here's a plan of action for you guys to take with you to the gym. Pick a weight for an exercise you can 100% do 10 reps with. Add 5 to 10 pounds to this exercise per week until those reps drop down below 10. Once you have this baseline, your goal is to add 1 rep to that exercise with the same amount of weight each week. Once you can do that for 10 reps, add 5 to 10 pounds to that exercise. And make sure you never compromise your form or technique throughout these progressions, or it won't truly be as effective as you want it to be. Thank you for watching the video today, guys. I hope it helped. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you need a little more help reaching your fitness goals, you can apply for my coaching program using the link in the description. Let's go.